Hi, welcome to the online lecture. This isn't going to be too long, I promise, but we're going to go over the final research article. And this lecture is actually for both classes 128 and 127. So your specific prompt may vary the tiniest bit, and I'll show you how it'll vary. But this will go over the specifics of this assignment. So the final research article asks you to put forward and support an academic argument related to your narrowed, and this might be either social science or science, engineering, technology, business topic, depending on which class you're in. In the final research article, you will put the pieces together from previous assignments, including revised versions of your background essay and literature review, but you will also add new material, and that part is essential. You're going to be adding new material, although the new material that you're going to be adding is usually one of the aspects of this assignment that students like the most. It's different than the background essay and lit review. And throughout the research and writing process of previous assignments up until this point, you have not put forth your opinions or viewpoints, but focused on reporting the information, analyses, and conclusions of other scholars. The FRA is the place where you will showcase and present your own insights, interpretations, and viewpoints. Please note that for this assignment, a visit to the Writing Center is mandatory for the original research argument. The Writing Center is located in RLC 173, and you can go there. They have appointments daily. You can check out their schedule online, or you can also submit your draft online for an online Writing Center session. Either way, you need to turn in verification of your visit by the final day of class. Our final day of class is December 8th. It's a Monday, so you need to make sure that you plan your Writing Center visit well in advance of that. The Writing Center can help you at any stage. It doesn't have to be at the very end. It can be toward the beginning when you're just trying to figure out what you want to write. So your argument. An academic argument should include the following elements: a main claim, which we've discussed in class, reasons, evidence, and warrants. And those are all things that you are going to find in the craft of research. Although you are likely to include a great number of observations, interpretations, and insights throughout your essay, your main claim will be a response to your research question. In a large sense, the originality of your overall contribution to the shared scholarly understanding of your topic will depend on the originality of your research question. The first step, revising the research question. In your literature review, you presented what had already been researched and published by scholars on your narrowed topic and related issues. By the conclusion of that essay, you were supposed to develop an original research question. You may find that you need to revise the formulation of your research question again now that you are actually trying to answer it in the final research article. Again, do not choose a research question or main claim that takes a yes, no, good, bad, for, against, pro, con, either or right or wrong form. Nor should your research question or claim attempt to predict the future. Instead, develop a question that explores and explains cause-effect relationships, non-obvious connections and consequences, complexities in identities, definitions or categorization, the effectiveness of past programs or initiatives, challenges in managing issues or political differences, something like that. Developing a hypothesis. You'll remember this from your final research literature review. Try to come up with a one-sentence answer to the research question from the conclusion of your literature review, which will be the main claim in your academic argument. If you can't imagine what a good one-sentence answer to the research question would look and sound like, consider refining or revising the question further. Since you will not be conducting an original research study, your one-sentence answer will be your hypothesis. Your goal is to support, not prove, your hypothesis or main claim with reasons, evidence, and relevant warrants. Consider your main claim as your supported interpretation rather than opinion. If you are having a difficult time coming up with a research question, you can begin by trying to list all of the insights, interpretations, and connections you came up with as you read through various articles and websites throughout the quarter. What claims do you feel you are able to make regarding your narrow topic? Which of the claims appear significant and original? You can work backwards from a main claim to a research question as well. More research. You need a minimum of 12 sources for the final research article. So keep on browsing and surfing and researching and asking questions. In developing your argument and trying to support an answer or hypothesis to your original research question, hold on, I totally just lost my place. Oh, sorry, in the final research article, you will of course draw upon your background essay and literature review. However, the way in which you narrowed your topic and the questions you are now asking may have gone through substantial changes as you move through the various assignments. So, and keep this in mind, this is important, you might also end up having to do new background research or to find new scholarly articles or chapters for the literature review section of the final research article. Don't be surprised if you have to do major revisions to your background essay and your literature review because you are writing an entire new section and they have to be supported by the background essay and literature review that you present. So you might have to do some overhauls. Now, the final research article has several required elements, and all of these go together to make up that final research article. And you've actually written most of this already, so don't panic at the length right here of 3,000 to 3,750 words. That's 12 to 15 pages of text. That does not include the cover page or the pages for the abstract, references, any illustrations that you include, or appendixes, which are optional. You need to have a cover sheet and title page. Include the title, your name, the course number, instructor name, and date on the cover sheet. See a handbook or website on the APA document format. And I've also included some very specific examples to show you how that looks. Your title should be narrow rather than broad and should reflect your research question or hypothesis. Spend some time developing a title that is interesting, informative, or innovative. An abstract. Make sure that you include a section heading that says abstract and look at the examples to show you or to see exactly what I mean by that. On a separate page after the cover page, so it's its own brand new shiny page, write a one-paragraph summary of about 150 to 200 words of your research paper with the following items: your narrowed topic, the main subtopics of your background section, the key scholarly issues from your literature review section, your original research question, your main interpretive claim, that hypothesis that tries to answer your research question, and optionally a brief statement about the significance of your original research question and hypothesis. Center the word abstract on the top of this page and then begin the abstract paragraph on the next line. The introduction. There's no section heading needed for this. So you start this on a new page. So the page after the abstract, you start the introduction. Include the title of your essay on the first page of your essay after the abstract page. It should be centered on the top of the page. Begin the text on the next line. While your introductory section may be one or more paragraphs long, probably not more than 2, pay special attention to your very first paragraph, which should capture your reader's attention, while remaining academic and professional rather than sensationalist, overly sentimental, or melodramatic. Your introductory section should clearly state your original research question and hypothesis. This section can also include an explanation of the relevance or significance of the issues and/or a brief discussion of what led you to formulate your question without using I or other forms of first person. The background section. Include a section heading. Additional subheadings may be useful. This section is the revision of your background essay, probably excluding that introduction and conclusion of that essay because you don't need those for this. You can just jump right into the body of the background. Note that the revision can mean omitting, expanding, or condensing what you wrote earlier, as well as adding new relevant information and subtopics that you hadn't included at all in earlier assignments. Again, the following elements are suitable for this section: relevant history, contexts, legislation and court cases, key parties and figures, statistics, organizations and programs, debates or disagreements, and/or unresolved issues and questions, etc. The literature review includes a section heading and includes subheadings for the summary and discussion and evaluation of the sources. That's important. Many of you didn't include subheadings, and those are essential. This is the section in which you report on the relevant research and writing that other scholars have published in scholarly journals. While you should plan on using what you can from your earlier literature review essay, you may need to revise what you wrote there since your research question may have changed and you'll have looked at many new sources. While you will still need an introductory paragraph for this section, a revised version of the conclusion from the literature review can move to the next section, which is your original research article. Again, note that the summary paragraphs of the literature review section should be divided according to issue rather than one for each source. Describe what the authors of your scholarly articles have researched, reported, argued, or concluded. In the discussion evaluation section, help us to understand the commonalities and differences among scholars, including their questions, methods, assumptions, priorities, etc., and give your evaluation of these sources, including their strengths or usefulness, as well as their weaknesses or limitations. Make sure that your literature review includes an adequate and representative range of scholarly views. One of the most damaging mistakes you can make for your credibility is to reveal that you are not familiar with some important and relevant arguments or studies in your field of specialization. Now, the original argument or contribution. This is the new stuff that you're going to be writing for this section. Include a section heading, and it should be at least 3 pages of new writing. So you're only writing 3 new pages of stuff, although you may write more. Begin this section with your own original research question along with its justification, which should emerge out of the scholarly sources in the Lit Review section, especially those areas or questions that you believe have not yet been adequately addressed or answered. The overall purpose of the FRA is to support your main interpretive claim, hypothesis, to answer your original research question. In this section, make sure you are engaging in dialogue with and building upon your 12+ sources. If you agree with one or more of them, how are you taking the discussion further? If you disagree with one or more of them, why is that? Acknowledge and respond to possible questions and reasonable objections that readers might raise to different aspects of your argument. While you may not be able to anticipate every possible objection, consider questions a skeptic might ask to challenge your positions. Be honest and fair in how you respond to questions or possible opposing views, and be willing to acknowledge questions you can't answer or limit the certainty of your claims if appropriate. In the conclusion, include a section heading for your conclusion. Synthesize, do not just summarize, the main information, explanations, debates, and argument that your paper has offered. Restate, in different words to avoid repetition, your original research question and hypothesis. What is the significance of the work you have done, the research you've uncovered, the questions you've asked, and the arguments you've made? This is that famous so what question. Your conclusion should give your readers reasons to continue thinking about your essay and its arguments. For example, you can offer suggestions for further research, which refers to new questions or directions that other researchers might wish to pursue based on the work you have done. References. Include a section heading. You need a minimum of 12 sources. Begin a new page with the word references centered on the top of the first page of the list of sources that you have quoted or cited. Each source should appear in APA format, which means that you have to pay attention to the details of punctuation, indentation, spacing, capitalization, italics, underlining, sequencing, etc. Because it's difficult to memorize all those APA rules, look up APA format. Also, and this is really important, provide a 3 to 5 sentence annotation for each source. Your references pages should follow the numbering of the entire manuscript. If your last page of writing falls on page 15, then your first page of references would be on page 16. And you might also include optional appendixes. Now, everyone's schedule is going to be different, so look up the schedule on the prompt for your class. But regardless of the class you're in, on Monday and Tuesday of this week, it's a writing and research day. So we're not meeting as a class, but I will be in my office if you need help. So go over the schedule, look at it, because you have drafts due next week, and you need to look and make sure you know what days those are due. I will be available during finals week. Your final draft of the final research article for every class is due Friday of finals week on Canvas.